Oh, that's a good one.
That sounded like a lot.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay.
Nice. Good job.
I think dealing with setbacks and how you deal with them is a key part.
One of the most overlooked aspects of sport is the mind.
I think of limits as stuff created in the mind.
I think I'm always wanting more. Maybe we'll make some changes and progress in those areas.
I'm Nilo, and welcome to Kintsugi Art Studio. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to give you a short introduction to what Kintsugi is all about, and then you're going to select a ceramic from behind you from one of the shelves, break it, come back in, and I'm going to show you how to mend it. Both of you, do you have any prior experience in Kintsugi or knowledge?
Well, I understand that it's like kind of a spiritual activity, sort of like symbolizing maybe like repairing some of our own brokenness through the process.
What are the two powerful lessons that Kintsugi teaches us? One is sustainability. Kintsugi teaches us, why don't you fix it? Mend it, and maybe give it a new lease of life. And the second very important lesson that it teaches us, which is very related to what Chelsea was saying, is that it's a healing art. It also teaches us that we get broken and we have cracks in our lives. So the process of mending the piece is like mending your life back together. So now what we're going to do now, next step, we're going to don the aprons, choose a ceramic, and we're going to step out and break it. Okay, take a seat. Make yourself feel very comfortable when you're breaking the ceramics. Do a little bit of self-reflection about the people who may have broken you in the past and how you actually overcame those moments, all right? Yes. You'll hear a different sound when it breaks. Oh, there we go. All right, again, same spot. Okay, start off gently and then hit harder.
Oh,
That's a good one.
That sounded like a lot.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay.
Nice, good job. Okay, so now guys, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna teach you how to join the pieces back together.
So how'd you get into the sport, Ling?
I was a runner. I got injured. I decided to pick up swimming. After 3 months, I recovered. I realized there's this thing called biathlon race. So I represented my school, do the swim run, and during the race, at the finishing line, I got to know a few of the multi-athletes, the triathletes. And then they got me to get a bike, and then they have the half Ironman in Singapore, 2007. So I did my first half Ironman, and I fell in love with long-distance triathlon ever since, yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. So I know you are track runner.
Yeah, just like you.
But how did you get into triathlon after that?
So I was trying to qualify for the Olympics in track and field, and I had a really bad day at the Olympic trials, like the worst race of my life on the most important day, and I didn't really know what I was going to do next, and I had become a fan of triathlon a little bit because the American women were so competitive at the Olympic distance level. And my husband and I were watching the Olympic on, and he said, "You should try that. Like, you know how to swim and bike?" And just laughed and told him that I thought it was a super dumb idea. I got more and more obsessed, and the rest is kind of history. I think like a lot of triathletes were really determined, and we can be pretty stubborn, and as soon as we get the idea in our minds, we just have to go after it. So I think that's still kind of my like mentality now. I'm just really curious, and I want to find out what's possible.
So let me go on to the next word.
So do we mix new glue now?
Yes, we need to.
So, because we recently just came out from the pandemic, you have like goals before that and you change, and then now you have your new goals?
Yeah, absolutely. Life has changed a lot, I think, for everyone and for me too since the pandemic. I kind of had big plans for 2020. I thought it would be another breakout year for me, but it became clear, obviously, in the spring that there wasn't going to be any racing or much racing at all. So I decided to get pregnant instead. I thought that bringing a child into the world would be a more fulfilling journey. And of course, like having Sky has totally reframed the way that I see think my career and what's possible for myself. How about you?
Before pandemic, I was at the peak of my life. And then have a kid also like you. And then coming back is really hard, especially now she's turning 15 months. I'm still struggling. Before, it was racing for myself, my husband. But for me, is after I have kids, she motivates me to do things and to get faster and stronger, because everything I do is set an example to her. So I want to show the ladies here that our life doesn't stop after we have a kid. In racing, if I got a hard day, I always remember that she's waiting for me. I cannot give up. I have to finish what I started.
So Ling, how do you do all the things that you do? You have a lot on your plate with your work and your racing and your family.
My work is pretty flexible. I teach spinning 3 times a week, depends on my schedule. But mostly I will train in the morning, like 4 or 5 a.m. and the Singapore road is clearer. So I'll get home by 8 or 9. When afternoon nap, I'll go out to do my second session. Yeah, I'll come back. I have a helper also, yeah. So, easy.
I don't know about easy. That's a lot of things that you have going on, but
we adapt,
yeah.
Yeah, so I did struggle for the first 2 months. Yeah, I can survive in like 6-7 hours sleep and do everything, yeah. With all these amazing athletes like you pushing women's sports to a different level, the prize money and all that, the opportunities, right? I'm just wondering, are you satisfied or do you want more?
I think I'm always wanting more. Triathlon, has a history of equal prize money, but I don't think that there's true gender equity in our sport. Things that maybe seem small but are such a big deal to us, like lactation 10-set races or race deferrals for pregnancy and postpartum periods. Those kind of, things that make us feel welcome and valued. So I'm hopeful that maybe we'll make some changes and progress in those areas.
So guys, your plates are mostly done. So when you went out and you broke the pieces, did you realize that you didn't have control over the number of pieces that it broke into? When certain things and unfortunate things happens in our life that sets us back, we don't have any control over the circumstances. But what we have control over, you had control over the amount of glue, the amount of pressure, and the amount of time. So healing is in your hands, it's in our control. Thank you guys for coming to the Kintsugi Art Studio and enjoying your very first Kintsugi workshop. Thank you.